Hello! Welcome again to another edition of Practical English, your smart guide to the English language. I am your host, Peter from Canada, coming to you by way of Sao Paulo, Brazil. And today we are going to look at small but important words called sequencers and connectors. Sequencers are words or phrases that are used to describe the order in which things happen. When is generally used to refer to the time at which something happened, and it is often used to link two events, one in the past continuous and one in the simple past. So we see here the beginning of this story. When I was crossing the road, I was hit by a car. Then is a word that means basically the same thing as next. We can also use after that. It is an event that follows the previous event. So then an ambulance took me to the hospital. And we can also use specific phrases such as the next day or on Thursday. The next day I was released, and on Thursday I returned to work. There's a number of time expressions we can use here. The following day is okay, next month, etc. Connectors. Two connectors we're looking at here that are similar but have different meanings and uses are because and so. Because is used to give a reason, and so is used to give a result. So note these two sentences that basically say the same thing, but have a different meaning. She was driving fast because she was in a hurry. This sentence gives the reason that she was driving fast. She was in a hurry, so she was driving fast. This sentence gives the result of her being in a hurry. We can also use connectors to show contrast when we describe two actions in a sentence that are kind of at odds with each other. So, for example, if the weather is terrible on your vacation, you would think that maybe you wouldn't have a good time. But here we use but to show the contrast. The weather was terrible, but we had a good time. You can also use the word although in place of but. The only difference between but and although is that although can go at the beginning of a sentence or in the middle. Although the weather was terrible, we had a good time. And note when we are using contrast, we use a comma to separate the two clauses. So let's put this into practice and do some short exercises here. In our example here, we couldn't find a taxi, we walked home. We walked home is the result of not being able to find a taxi. So the word is so. All right, our number one here, it was very cold. She wasn't wearing a coat. You would think that when it's very cold, she would wear a coat. So this is contrast. It's at the beginning of the sentence, so the correct word is although. I woke up in the night. There was a noise. The noise is the reason they woke up. So to give a reason, we use because. I called him. His mobile was turned off. When you call someone, you expect to speak to them. In this case, they did not. So this is contrast. Here, the best choice is but. She's very nice. She doesn't have very many friends. Well, you would think if someone is nice, they would have many friends. So this is also contrast, but it's at the beginning of the sentence. So the correct word is although. There was nothing on TV. I went to bed. Here, going to bed is a result of nothing being on TV. So the correct word is so. All the cafes were full. It was a public holiday. The fact that it is a public holiday is the reason the cafes were full. So the correct word is because. She wanted to be a doctor. She failed her exams. Okay, this is contrast because obviously she's not going to be a doctor. So the correct word is but. The garden looked very beautiful. I took a photograph. Taking a photograph is a result of the garden looking beautiful. So the correct word is so. The team played well. They didn't win. You would think if the team played well, they would win. So this is contrast at the beginning of the sentence. So the correct word is although. And that's it for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you found this useful, please like, subscribe, and share. I will be back again just as soon as I am able. Until then, thank you very much.